Welcome back to the 12 pastas of Christmas, this being the third pasta on our way to Christmas Eve. Uh, Today's story is called ReindeerGames.exe, all one word by the way. And because it's .exe, you know it's going to be silly. It's not meant to be taken seriously if it ends with .exe. We all learned that from Sonic. Anyway, let's get in with the story, shall we? I guess since Christmas is coming up, which yes it is, I would tell you a story about something that happened a year ago. It was Christmas Eve, and I was waiting for what the so-called Santa would give to me. While waiting for the day to end, I decided to get into the Christmas spirit other than all the decorating. And I looked online for Christmas games, which is what I did at the beginning of the month when I was coming up with ideas for the Christmas special. And then I realized a lot of Christmas games kind of suck. Anyway, back to the story. All the ones I played kind of sucked. And just made me feel tired. Because Christmas is overdone. Oh well, guess I'll try again, I thought of what the games I could look for when I saw it. That is real. That is the actual punctuation or lack thereof. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer VHS tape. Feeling nostalgic, I decided to look up games with Rudolph in it. I clicked on the first link I saw and went to the page. On the page, I saw a screenshot of the game. A 3D image of Rudolph walking around in the snow. It looked cheery enough. I scrolled down to see if there were any comments or reviews on the game. There were no comments. I assumed that the game had been new and not many had played the game. I clicked the link to the download. The game was called ReindeerGames.exe, so you know it's gonna be gold. Not thinking anything of it, because why would you? You're a creepypasta main character, or a troll pasta. Shut up. I downloaded the game and saw it on my desktop. The download was hefty, but my computer could handle it. Okay. When I opened the game, I saw a launcher with Rudolph's head popping out of the side with the text on top saying, "Would you like to play some reindeer games?" "Witty," I replied in our sarcastic voice. I clicked yes, and it opened the game. Everything looked normal. But you haven't played this before, so how would you know? Anyway, I walked around as a 3D rendered model of Rudolph with his red nose illuminating the white fluff on the ground. Ahead was a building. I walked up to see an elf walking around. When I talked to him, a text box appeared. "Rudolph, you're here. Maybe Christmas will come." I don't know why I think that's funny. Sorry, drink water. I decided to walk into Santa's workshop, to see all the elves hard at work. I like how the T in 2 is not capitalized despite it being the start of the sentence, but the E in elves is capitalized. Because of course it is. When talking to, they all just replied saying, "Sorry, can't talk now." So I decided to talk to Santa himself. Go big or go home. When I talked to him, he said how Christmas wouldn't be happening this year because his sleigh is broken and needs to be fixed. Isn't that like the plot of every children's show's like Christmas episode? It's like something's going on with Santa and or his sleigh, and your main characters of your favorite show are like, "Oh, I have to save Christmas? Oh my god." I think there was a Vine about that way back in the day. Might have been from Drew Gooden, I don't remember. My brain is mush. Where was I? Then he tells me to, if I go to a town not far, I might be able to help him fix it. That is a whole sentence. Going from when I talk to him to, you know, if I go to a town, I might be able to help him fix it. That is a long-ass sentence, I'm sorry. Then a choice popped up. The choices were do it and don't do it. Assuming it meant the quest, I chose do it. I then saw Rudolph getting closer to Santa and the screen fading to black. After that, the game crashed and I decided to reopen the game. When I finally got the game to open, the launcher this time said, "Would you like to play some reindeer games?" But instead of the original green and brown letters, they were kind of bright red. And Rudolph's head wasn't there. Was the rest of him there? I clicked yes again and entered the game. The game started up the same as normal. I went back to see if anything was different at Santa's workshop, and to my surprise, the elf that was outside was gone. When I went inside, I saw that there were no elves at the assembly lines working on the toys like last time. Oh no, they went on break. I went to see Santa. He was gone as well. That was one sentence. I went to see Santa. He was gone as well. However, when I left Santa's office, I saw Mrs. Claus. She looked terrified and said to Rudolph, "Please just leave. We don't want you here anymore." Then the choice of do it came up on the screen, as well as don't do it. I picked do it. Okay. Rudolph got closer to Mrs. Claus and the screen turned black but didn't crash. Oh, thank God. Your computer's better than mine. When the screen came back, Rudolph was in the middle of nowhere. Is he meeting with Courage the Cowardly Dog? When walking ahead, I saw a few elves, but they weren't moving. They were just lying there. When I went to talk to them, all the text boxes it said were ellipsis. Then a red liquid started to flow out of the small elf body, staining the white ground. I felt disgusted, but kept going. I don't know why, I just kept going. The more I went on, the more elves I saw. Then I saw Santa and Mrs. Claus, with the other reindeers such as Comet and Cupid, except they were still alive. Santa and Mrs. Claus, however, were not. I kind of figured that from the black screen, whatever. When I talked to Blitzen, he said, "Why did you do it?" Comet said, "I always knew this would happen one day," and Cupid didn't say anything, just looked down at Santa. The screen turned black again, and it returned with all the reindeer tied together, except Rudolph. Because who else is going to tie them up? They were at the edge of a large cliff. When I talked to the reindeer, they just shouted, "No, Rudolph, you don't have to do this!" Sorry. It's not too late. I screamed that because that is all in caps, and then it's not too late, is it? Then the choice of do it came up, but not don't do it. Without a choice, I picked do it. You know, you can quit at any point, Mr. Author. This time the screen didn't turn to black. I saw Rudolph push the other reindeers off the cliff, and hearing the screams of terror made me cry. Plus, sorry. The reindeers were pushed off the game, skipped to the reindeers. Whoa! The reindeers were pushed off the game, skipped to the reindeers, shattered into pieces, and spread across the snow-covered ground. Okay. The scream was so disgustingly captured that I almost threw up. The next scene was Rudolph on the top of the cliff looking down at his work. Rudolph then took a step towards the ledge. For the final time, the choice of do it and don't do it came up. I clicked don't do it, but Rudolph said, "It's too late now. You had a chance to stop me, but now it cannot be undone." Okay. He then walked off the cliff, and the scene of pieces of Rudolph mixed with the pieces of other reindeer is stuck in my head. Author, did you have a stroke? The game then showed an image of a rotting Rudolph corpse on my screen. I thought he was in pieces. Is he made of glass or is he made of meat? I tried clicking out of the game, but it didn't work. I tried turning off my computer, but that failed as well. Then I pulled the plug, the rotting Rudolph was still implanted on my screen and in my head. You know, I don't believe you. Strangely, I ran out of my room to tell my parents what happened. When in doubt, tell mommy and daddy. I brought them to my room to show them, but the image was gone and my computer was tuned off. I turned it on to show them the game, but the .exe file was gone. I checked my recycling bin. Nothing. My downloads. Nothing. I even looked for the website, but it was gone. I tried thinking of how this could have happened, but I got nothing. I just decided to forget about it and go to sleep. The next day, after opening all my gifts from my parents, and all my parents opening theirs. all your parents? How many parents do you have? We got mom and dad and dad and dad and mom and dad and mom and mom. During cleanup, I noticed a small box under the tree. My parents said they had no idea what it was. What, did they all talk amongst themselves? The card on it said, "To Josh from Rudolph, you gave me your name. Mr. Josh." I opened it to see a card on a box. The card said in bright red colors, "Thank you for playing my reindeer game," with the same zombie Rudolph place. There was no zombie Rudolph. You just made that up. You said he was rotting before. Rotting and a zombie are different. Inside the box was a small spherical object that illuminated the living room with a bright red glow. Oh goody, Rudolph gave Josh his nose. And that, so far, is the longest troll pasta that I've done for this little Christmas theme that I've been doing. I hope you enjoyed it. It wasn't as funny as the other two that I've already done. I'm not sure what the next one's going to be. I'm gonna have to do some searching, but don't you worry, because I'll find something. Yeah, until tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.